Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about 3%, Season 2, Episode 7. It's called Chapter 7, Fog. So, full spoilers for the episode as always. This one kind of splits neatly into two characters. For the most part, there's like a little bit of Joanna, and she has the big thing at the end. There's a big cliffhanger at the end with her, but...
It's neat to talk about. I don't think it splits that neatly when watching.
Oh, sure. What do you mean?
I think the structure and the pacing is kind of a bit of a mess in this episode.
I don't know if I'd go as far as say it's a mess. It's definitely unbalanced, I'd say that, but...
There was a good handful of times where I've just felt like, now's the point to cut away, where it drags off, and it just feels really weird to me.
Well, keeping the plot with the two characters the same, what would you have done differently?
I mean, that's a fair question. I don't know. I think it's just the way where they're placed and the way we cut. Like, there are certain points where, you know, an event will happen. It feels like, okay, that's where we cut away, and it'll keep going, or instead it'll be like it'll cut away when it shouldn't.
Okay, I never really felt that per se. It just kind of felt like a natural. We've got two plots to follow, and it's bouncing between the two of them.
Okay.
More than anything. Perhaps, I mean, thematically they're still kind of linked though, because they're both kind of about, you know, where allegiances lie, how loyal they are, and how, like, can they forget certain parts of their past, or will they always be there? The themes are kind of consistent in both of them to
they are, yeah.
So Raphael and Michelle are the two characters we're talking about. They're the ones who have the plots. Michelle is back on the offshore, and Cassia's... I guessed rightly that we're going to use the VR tech. However, I was expecting a simple test, and it sounded like that at first, because Cassia was saying, "No, I'm going to test you," and
Yeah.
Michelle's all cagey about it. But it turns out, because they'd set this up with Alien way back at the start of the season, that they can erase parts of your mind. And that's actually what they're trying to do here. They're trying to, like, erase the evidence that Marcella is the one who killed Ezekiel. They don't want her knowing that, and they're trying to get rid of it. But she kind of fights back. Every time it cut to Michelle, it was kind of like, once she was in the machine, it was kind of like eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, like her and her memories, like trying to not lose them. It's easily the most sci-fi thing we've seen in this show.
I thought it was a little bit weird towards the end of this plot, where she kind of just breaks out, and I don't really understand it.
That is fair. I had a similar complaint with something else recently. What was it? It was Shield. It was Shield last week. There was a similar moment in Shield that felt like that.
Yeah, like here, she kind of just takes control and gets free, and I kept feeling like, oh, this is where they're gonna swerve, and she's actually still in the VR. You know, kind of like we had with Raphael. And I thought they were going to do the same thing to her, but we'd know it's coming because we've already seen it. And then it just doesn't. I'm like, okay, she actually did just kind of break free.
I think because she goes through her own game, the one she designed, I think that was meant to represent her kind of untangling her mind and gaining control. Like, that maze represented her finding her way around her own head.
See, that's the thing. I get that she finds a way around herself. That works for me thematically. But to just outdo the technology, just, oh yeah, no, it's fine, I beat it. It felt really weird to me. Like, she's like, no, just wake yourself up, it's fine.
So if I'm going to be devil's advocate here and fight you on this, I would say that they've not really established that there's any difficulty in them just waking up. Like, they've not established that they're sedated in any way, for example.
Well, I mean, the fact that she can't just wake up at any point, she's kind of under her control, right? She has to fight her way to wake up.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Otherwise, she could just sit up at any moment if she wasn't.
Well, she's not awake though, right? That's the thing. She's still like she. See, it's a weird thing to compare because it's not even like in real sleep you can just wake yourself up from within a dream.
Right, exactly.
That's not a thing we do. This is different than that. She's still communicating with Cassia. This is more of a trance.
Conscious. Yeah.
It's like a trance where you're still talking to the person.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's hypnosis almost.
Yeah, I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, I don't necessarily disagree with you, because I do think it's kind of just like, okay, she can do that, fine, whatever. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, I would just maybe say that they've never set up that this is actually that difficult. Sure, she can't just do it at any point, but we've only ever really seen it being used on Raphael.
No, they haven't set it up, but I would say context, right? Because Cassia is shocked when this happens. Because
Michelle's our main character, and she's like that great. That's what this is telling us. She's that damn good. She's that strong-willed.
It is telling us that. I just don't like it.
She's half freaking Jordan.
She basically is at this point.
That's what that is. It bugged me too much though, because the bashing in Cassia's face afterwards, and they break out of Andrea, go into the prison cell and shooting it, and the gun doesn't work at first because she's never used one before, so she kind of has to jimmy it a little bit. She's like, all right, okay, now.
Yeah.
And
this was the whole thing. I was kept expecting to be a swerve that this is still in the machine.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Arguably, it's too perfect. I mean, they could still swerve his next episode.
They could, but it feels weirdly late by that point, doesn't it?
It's interesting though, because Andrea, they sort of run off. Aileen kind of lets them go past, so she knows they're hiding from them, and Cassie is looking for them, and she lets them go. And he's like, "Oh no, I know a secret part of the island." And I'm like, so here's the interesting part now: is like, is he actually guilty of murder?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought.
Because she assumes he's innocent, of course, but
right,
did he actually do something?
He may have done. I thought what was almost interesting would have been if Michelle had killed Cassia with the gun. She points it at her, but then she runs off, and I thought it would be kind of ironic in trying to save her brother. She actually became the first murderer.
Do you know what I think is fascinating about this? Is I genuinely do not know where this plot is going now. No,
I have no idea.
And there was even a brief second in this one. I mean, it was quite clear very quickly that Raphael was going to sneak back off the submarine. But when it first cut to him sitting in the submarine with Eliza, I was like, "Wait, is he going back to the offshore as well? Where's this season going? Everything they've set up, all the characters go back to the offshore.
Yeah,
what's happening?
Just because? Why not?
But no, I generally don't know where Michelle and Andrew's plot's going, and I'll give them credit. The moment when the glass breaks and he finally gets to see her. And again, it's all from her perspective, because we don't necessarily care about Andrea himself. Andrea is kind of a MacGuffin almost. He's the plot prize for Michelle. I mean, maybe we'll develop him into something now that we have him, and now we can get to know him.
But he's literally just been something in a box for the season.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, he's the prize in a box. She broke into the box. She opened her present, and she got her brother back. So curious to see where this goes, because I genuinely have no idea where this is going. We've got 3 episodes left. And I don't know how we're wrapping this up with them, because I can't imagine, I know he's got a secret hidden place in the island, but it is a relatively small island.
It is, and you'd think that they'd know most of it, because it all got mapped and tracked, right? Because
there's a point when they first started running away, and she's like, "We have to run now," and I'm like, "Okay, you can run for a bit, but you're on an island. we could do a swim back to the inland."
Yeah, exactly.
Which requires a submarine trip every time you come to the island. I mean, that
sneak away on a sub, stowaways.
I'm half expecting that next episode is them sneaking onto the submarine to get back to the inland.
Yeah, I've got no better suggestions.
But hey, yeah, I'm generally do not know where this is going. As far as the actual, just to go back to the tech and the try to erase her memory, I did kind of like that element of it. I liked that they were trying to do that, because when I realised that this wasn't just, she's in a VR world and they're they can go into memories, and I'm like, oh yeah, Alien, they can erase things, and they did a good job of reminding you of that as well. They made a point of kind of flashing back to that scene. But I like that idea. It's just, I think it goes kind of hand in hand with the idea of the offshore manipulating the inland population to be devout and follow them. And
no, it did, and it had a real nice visual to it with all the fog and the faces blurring out. Yeah. The repetition.
Yeah, it was definitely
degrading over time.
Fantastical the show's been in terms of the sci-fi. Because I mean, obviously it's set in a dystopian future, so it's science fiction anyway. But this was like a sci-fi piece of technology on top of it all.
Yeah, which we haven't actually got that much of. We get little bits here or there.
Yeah, there's the odd fancy computer screen or something like that, but
No, nothing that gets used very heavily though that often. Like like we got VR, and that was a huge leap forward in the sci-fi technology stuff.
I kind of like that though. I kind of like it if you go through season 1, certainly. It's like there's little hints of better tech, but it's never like a big focus of the plot. It's just no. This is stuff we have in the world that we use, but we're not going to like focus on it. It's not a big plot point that we have this fancy communicator or we have this fancy thing over here.
No, and I like that most of the tech is kept still on the offshore. Obviously they bring the communication stuff, etc.
And
over
tablets,
with them,
the stuff they need.
nothing that can be stolen and make a huge impact.
Outside of last episode with Fernando grabbing the.
Right, but not. You could have an impact in the moment, but not a lasting impact in changing the way they use the technology.
Oh sure, yeah. So then Raphael's plot, of course, is Eliza wants him to come back to the offshore because she's almost done, and I was like, oh, she's actually not going to be here for the bomb, so she's leaving and going home. Her work is done before it begins.
That takes that out of the equation for him.
Yeah, and she wants him to go with, and he's like, oh no, but this is it's important. I'm on a mission. And she's like, you were kidnapped. You get to go home.
Yeah.
That was traumatic. You get to come home now with me. And of course he wrangles his way out of it as best he can. But we get some flashbacks actually. And the flashbacks themselves I thought were fine. I do want to critique one thing though with the flashbacks, is that when it went to the second flashback, it felt the need to tell me a second time this was 6 months ago. I'm like, I get it. You only have to tell me the first
feel like
time.
The placement of the flashbacks is really weird as well. Like again, this is some of the structure issues I was having.
Okay.
Is because the first one, Eliza, she hears the name, and then she has this look of shock, and I'm like, am I supposed to recognize this name? Like, I was like, is this supposed? And then it cuts into this flashback, and it felt like, oh, I guess we'll just explain it straight away. And it was like, it feels like something that should have been seeded earlier, so that this reveal meant something to us with her.
I don't think it needed to be seeded earlier. I mean, that's one way of doing it. That would have worked, but I think the fix here that you're complaining about is actually much simpler than that.
Yeah.
Instead of having her react to the name, as soon as she sees his face, just cut to the flashback. See the shock, and then use the shock in the face to cut to the flashback. I think your problem here stems from the fact that she reacts to the name as if the name means something, and then we linger a little bit, and then we go to the flashback.
I think it is. It's the way it's structured here, where I'm just like, because I'm there in confusion, racking my brain, going, okay, who's this? Am I supposed to know?
Because I have no problem with her reacting to something, and then it cut into why that's important. Because I've seen that done in many a show. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen that done many a time, but I think the way you're describing it there, and I think the problem you're having, and I kind of agree with what you're getting at here, is that it's specifically when she reacts to the name. If it's the face and it's visual, as soon as she sees him, we see him. Or maybe we don't even see him, maybe we just see her reaction, it cuts to the flashback, and then when it cuts back to present day, we see his face, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was relevant.
No, I think that's what it is. It's just the way it's structured for the reveal and the reaction. It felt like the wrong way around.
Yeah, I think it's just the scene. I think it's just the editing in that one scene.
Yeah. But I felt a similar way with the second flashback as well, with the way it just kind of cuts into it. It was like, because they're having their talk about it, and it's just like, oh yeah, you need to know this information now, so we'll quickly cut back. It felt like there's this thing that has been between them for 6 months. That I don't know. It's just like, oh okay, now we're bringing it up. I guess we should show you.
I wonder if these two scenes were originally in like the episode where we got their history when they met and all that. I wonder if those two scenes were in that episode originally, and then they cut them out and put them in this one instead for some reason.
Maybe. I feel like they would have served a lot better in that episode.
They might have done. I'm like a cat, and continue on to the next point. Eliza gets shot. Talk about it.
She does, and I think it's interesting that Raphael immediately, he says, "Oh no, they were here for me," and I don't know how true that is. Maybe they are going, oh no, he's a traitor, he knows too much, but let's take him out. Or if it's just a case of the tensions are rising, they want retaliation for the leaders, and they're just, right, let's hit back at an easy target.
I think it's fair for him to think that, though, or to assume
No,
that.
I agree it's fair for him to think of it, but I don't know how accurate it is.
Yeah, it may not be accurate, but I think it's reasonable for him to think that, because I think he feels guilty because he didn't want to shoot her. She kind of made him do it.
Yeah.
And the cause everyone, and even Fernando, who's not in the cause, thinks he's a traitor. Even after the end of the last episode, he's still kind of like, you're still an asshole, Raphael. Like, I'm not quite, following along with this. And he's like, no, like, I'm still part of the cause. And he's kind of like, and obviously it gets to the point where he's like, oh, what's the plan? Is it a bomb? No, I've got a better plan. I'm going to, like, erase all the process data. All the, everyone's registration. Let's get rid of all that, and they can't do it. He's like, oh, that's a great plan. It's a fantastic plan.
And he's like, I know, it's mine.
And how do we do this? I don't know yet.
I thought you'd know.
Which leads them to coming and questioning Eliza about where they store all this
suspiciously at all.
Yeah, super, super weird. Especially since there's like there's a civilian right there getting checked as he's asking all these questions.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, save it for pillow talk. Like, just bring it up that casually. When you're but coming down, like actually making a point of coming and interrupting her.
It's like you arrived 10 seconds ago and you're jumping straight to this. You went, oh hey, you okay? Registration.
Because I thought she might die. It was playing very much like that, and then of course eventually she wakes up in the a couple hours later in the hospital bed, and I was like, because obviously I'm thinking, okay, so what does this do dramatically for the show? Does this, give Raphael like a vendetta against the cause, even though he maybe still believes in what the cause is doing?
He doesn't like their methodology.
Yeah, does that go down that path? Because I think it's interesting. We never really get to hear his opinion on it being a bomb, because Fernando immediately says, no, we've got a better plan. We don't really get to hear Raphael's opinion on, is the bomb a good idea? Does he support that that tactic?
No, we don't. No.
So I'm wondering if that will still come up later in some capacity. If they're going to fail, but the cause still want to set off a bomb. I mean, how they're going to do that now when
they haven't got a bomb.
They haven't got a bomb. Michelle's hand. I love how this episode and then arguably the last 3 episodes, between Ezekiel dying, them losing their bomb this early, and now Michelle being back on the offshore with her brother out of the cage. I'm like, man, they've subverted all my expectations for what I thought they set up in the first few episodes. They've kind of dealt with a lot of it quicker than I thought, and
not
necessarily in a bad way. It's actually kind of like, oh, I actually don't know where this is going now. Beyond trying to stop the process.
No, I agree. I think it's still clear that okay, we're going to end the season on the day of the process, right? I'm expecting that.
Yeah,
but I have no idea what everyone's doing on that day now. Yeah,
no, that's absolutely true. I kind of like it. I'm actually kind of impressed. I really feel like I don't know where it's going now, because I think after the first couple, we kind of locked into this idea of like, okay, this is where we see the season going, and it's done some of those beats, of course, but we're actually at a point now where we're like, okay, where is all these things going now?
Yeah, they really have done a good job of mixing it up a bit.
Yeah, and Fernando's locked up, but he's working with Raphael now. Raphael basically says, you're my only friend, because he's the only one who knows that he didn't betray the cause. He's the only one who believes him. So therefore, therefore he is his only friend right now.
Yeah.
He actually cares about Eliza. Eliza wakes up in the submarine and he's gone, and you feel kind of bad for you, he should have just went. Admittedly, that would have also meant I had no idea where his plot was going to go if he went back to the offshore, but...
No, and I think, he comes out and Marcella's like, good, you got a job to do. I'm like, it's kind of a bloody good job you stuck around, because, you went through all that shit to get here. She probably would have gone, well, what was the point in all that? If he just went, forget it, I'll go home.
The fact that is, though, I feel like between getting kidnapped and then his girlfriend being shot, he had enough justifiable reasons to say, hey, I want to go and look after her. She got shot.
Probably, yeah.
Also, I got kidnapped. I might need therapy. It's actually... Though I think one of those things would have probably been enough, especially the girlfriend being shot.
Yeah, I think that's more likely. I think the kidnapping, they're like, no, just get on with your job. You're a soldier.
Yeah. No, I buy that, but I think you put them together and it's like, come on now. It's the thing.
No, I'm with you.
That's the thing. So that was Raphael's whole thing this episode. And honestly, I thought it was really solid. I mean, some structural and editing problems aside, I feel like this might be the most emotionally invested I think I've been in a Raphael subplot.
That's fair.
I think Eliza has done a lot of good things for him as a character, giving him some a sort of a tether to his heart, and
I think the problem was, like last season, it was obviously very closed off for a while, and then once we learned, oh, he's with the cause, it was like, well, that's cool, but we care more about Michelle with the cause.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think this season's done a good job of differentiating them because they've both got completely different viewpoints and
giving him his own identity a bit more instead of just, oh, he's just another one.
Yeah, so that's been pretty good. I think Eliza has definitely given him a human sort of tether to the emotional side of the show, and obviously bringing back up the whole brother thing. And I did laugh a little bit finding out that his younger brother that he stole his registration from so he could go to the process again has now stolen his other younger brothers. And Eliza even jokes and says, I feel sorry for the youngest. It's the sixth brother who's the youngest one.
Yeah, I was glad she said that because that was the first thing I thought as well. I was like, well, the youngest one's screwed, isn't he?
Yeah, because they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep stealing the younger brother's thing to have a second chance. And then the youngest brother's going to be like, hey, Mom, pump
it's
out
not
another
to get a
one.
second chance, it's to get a first chance.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's true. Raphael's the only one who's actually gotten 2 chances.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was Raphael's thing. So of course we have to talk about the ending because we see Joanna's been tied up, presumably for her role in stealing the bomb. One would imagine, and it's all going down. And we cut back to her once or twice. Fernando's like
chomping at the ropes.
I have to admit that made me a bit like ugh. Like the idea that she was biting so hard with her mouth that her mouth is bleeding is just kind of icky.
It took me a second. I was like, is that blood? And I was like, oh, that rope's just ripping her gums to shreds.
Yeah, I was like, oh, don't be wanting that. That's icky. But she gets out again after she chomps through the ropes, and she gets out upstairs into this building she's in. And I would never have called this ending. Because as far as we were concerned, Marco was dead.
Yeah.
Dude got crushed.
Yeah, what's going on here?
No, clearly he was affected by said incident because he's very banged up. He's got a walking stick, he's got a leg brace on, his arms kind of, done in. Like he's clearly, he is not at 100%. This is a man who is forever on the disabled list. But he comes out and he's looking all evil, and he's the first person in his family not to go through to the offshore, because that was his character's whole thing last season, is that everyone in his family
does, so he's fine.
Yeah. And he became so obsessed about it that kind of is what led to his demise. And maybe the best episode of season 1, the one where they're all trapped in that area.
No, I think that is the best one.
Yeah, it was really good. So he comes out and Joanna's like, what the hell?
Shit. Yeah.
And we're like, I'm with you. I'm right with you, Joanna. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on?
Yeah. Didn't again in terms of surprising things this season has done. This ranks up there.
So next episode, Ezekiel walks out, right? Even though we saw him get shanked.
Him strung up.
Yeah. So yes, stabbed then hung.
Yeah, he was on display. I think we're good on that one.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm not taking anything for granted.
It is worth questioning as to where Markle's allegiances lie.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
Like, is he just after Joanna? But was Joanna like taken here because obviously she was wanted as a murderer? Like, is he the one who's been like spearheading, like wanting her because he wants to get revenge? It's a
personal vendetta.
Yeah. Or, is he either with the cause because he feels betrayed by the process, or is he still pro-process?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I can see him being, he feels jaded because the process betrayed him, right?
Mm.
But that doesn't really explain why he kidnaps Joanna for the cause. Not really.
Yes.
Not yet, anyway. But I can see him still being with the cause, being one of their inland contacts.
Yeah, possible. I can see it going either way, to be honest. They could justify it either way.
They
could say he's still pro-process and he's doing what he's doing to try and gain favour, so they'll make some sort of weird exception and let him in or something.
Not even that. Maybe it's just his contact is a family member, and it's just a way of he can stay in contact with them by working for them.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I definitely don't know. Like, they've dropped this bombshell on us, so it wouldn't surprise me if next episode is completely his. Like, if he's the focus and we get to learn about how he came to be here.
Him and Joanna.
Yeah, I could totally see that being next episode, which is called Frogs. I'm excited by this. Frogs.
Hmm. Okay, well, we've already seen some frogs this season.
We did. We saw them in the first episode of the season, so I'm curious to see how the frogs come back into play.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? They didn't kill, did they? They paralyzed, right?
Yeah, because they were using their venom or whatever for the pills.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that's part of how they.
Well, they did kill, didn't they? Because they were used to assassinate people
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
or take them themselves to die without giving up information.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you might be right. I was just thinking because for some reason I thought they could touch them a little bit and it would hurt, but it wouldn't kill them. But maybe ingesting it is what did it.
Hmm.
So.
But yeah, there you go. That's episode 7.
Just want to note, Fernando does blame Gloria.
He did. Yeah, he did. There was one line where
Yeah.
he mentioned he was still upset about that. So,
Yeah, betrayed by his best friend.
So yeah, but I'm sure he'll find the truth out sooner or later.
Yeah. But just her saying that she didn't do it at the end of last episode wasn't enough to convince him.
No, that's quite right. That's quite right. But no, I'm still fairly confident that they'll discover the truth before the end of the season.
Probably.
Unless it ends really grimly and darkly and one of them dies.
Which it could do.
Which could very well happen.
Yeah.
Yes. But hey, so that is episode 73%. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fudge for channel updates. We will be back with the next episode sometime early next week, so look forward to that. Get us on patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. It's worth going over there anyway, even if you're not going to sign up and be a patron. You can check out all the other stuff we do. There's a nice handy list of all the audio feeds and everything else, so have a look over there. But otherwise, that is us, so thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?